Will Raleigh remain one of the best places to live this year, or will it fall victim to the issues plaguing rapid growth like other cities have? I'm Alice Warnerowski with the W Real Estate Group here in Raleigh. And Raleigh has been one of the best places to live in the country for years now, and was number 3 last year. But that recognition has led to a large influx of people from many other states that have stressed many aspects of the city, such as the housing market and the infrastructure. Will Raleigh experience the same issues that caused places like Austin and Nashville to dive in the best places to live rankings, or will it rise above? There are so many different rankings out there, but the U.S. News and World Report is one of the most reputable. Their main focuses are on value, job market, quality of life, and desirability. So let's talk about those categories in relation to how Raleigh should score this year. Starting with value. The 2 main factors here are housing affordability and the cost of goods and services, both in relation to the rest of the country. So what is the Housing Affordability Index? It measures the ability for the median household income of an area to qualify for the median priced home under the current interest rates. Raleigh is currently at a 68, meaning the median household income is 32% below what is needed to qualify for the average home. And that's the lowest we've ever been. But last year at this time, it was at 73, and we dipped below that magic 100% mark in roughly March of 2022. So last year's rankings, which gave us a pretty high value score at a 7, should have already accounted for the dip in affordability. And the rising interest rates affected the entire nation. So the rest of the country is all experiencing a similar downward trend from 2022 to 2023. And for the cost of goods and services, Raleigh has been and continues to be more affordable than the national average, consistently ranking in the upper 90s on the Price Parity Index. Our prices rose across the board just like everyone else's during the pandemic. But unlike the housing market, we are not an outlier in prices here. So I expect this factor to remain relatively unaffected in the rankings. With all that said, I expect Raleigh to fall here a bit, as while the entire nation has been affected by high interest rates and rising home prices, Raleigh's home prices have risen much faster than the national average, and the area's salaries have not kept up. Next up is the job market, which Raleigh was ranked last year as having the 5th hottest job market in the country. 2024 has been labeled as the year of the great stay. With the fear of recession and reduction of lucrative pay raises for switching companies, people will stay at their current jobs. But that isn't stopping North Carolina and the Raleigh area in general from having a very positive outlook for 2024. Job openings continue to rise here with no real signs of a slowdown coming. North Carolina is just too attractive for both big business and entrepreneurial startups right now. And with an unemployment rate hovering around 3%, roughly an entire percentage below the national average, we are able to fill up these new jobs as quickly as they come. All of this is even before the region has really realized the impact of future Apple, Google, and Meta jobs. So bottom line, I wouldn't expect Raleigh to change much in the job market metric here. And I would be surprised if we don't make the top 10 hottest job markets again in 2024. Moving on to quality of life, which Raleigh has had a very high score of 7.2 last year and always seems to excel here. I really don't see this score changing much. Our well-being score metric will continue to be strong with our high-quality park system, and many more additions are on the way. Our education scores are likely to remain relatively constant, as well as healthcare and air quality. The 2 main factors that could affect the ranking for Raleigh are the crime and the traffic metrics. Crime has risen in downtown Raleigh this summer compared to years past, but Raleigh has since brought that back down with an aggressive prevention plan. So while we could score a little bit lower than last year, it shouldn't be significant. And for the traffic, yes, it's getting worse, but it's not statistically much different than last year's rankings. And while longtime locals like myself don't want to hear this, Raleigh's commutes are nothing in comparison to many of the cities it's measured against. So for the quality of life metric, I expect us to remain in a similar range as years past. Last up is desirability, which is as it sounds, a measure of how much people want to move here. Raleigh is not a splashy place to call home. It's not a Los Angeles, California, or a Naples, Florida. Heck, it's not even Charlotte, North Carolina. It doesn't have the massive skyline and amazing nightlife, but it has and will continue to excel in aspects involving everyday living. But believe it or not, Raleigh was at number 25 on the latest list of most desirable places to live, and was one of the few non-beachfront or vacation-style cities. The fact that it's even on this list with these dream locations speak to how great of a life Raleigh provides on an everyday basis. Raleigh is also number 21 on the fastest growing metros list, growing 1.22% of our population in the last year. For comparison, Myrtle Beach was number 1 at 4.5%, and Raleigh was higher on this list in years past, so our growth rate is starting to slow down. I believe Raleigh's growth rate will continue to fall a bit from the 1.22% over the next year or two, as people continue the nationwide trend of moving back to their pre-pandemic cities. Other desirability factors involve the weather, which again, Raleigh is well-rounded here as it's not too hot, too cold, too rainy, or too dry, and establishment ratios, which Raleigh has really started to see an upward trend here, as there have been 28 restaurants and bars open in the downtown area alone in the past year. So as to desirability as a whole, there are categories moving in both directions, but I believe we will see Raleigh fall just a bit in the rankings as our net migration will likely continue to decrease. To sum up my projection for the 2024 Best Places to Live rankings, I believe Raleigh's performance in all of these factors will cause it to fall from number 3 in the rankings, but I still believe Raleigh will remain in the top 10. If you have any real estate needs in the greater Raleigh area, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'm Allison Warnerowski, and thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next video.